Good afternoon, Mr. Witness.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and Related Matters. What is your religion, Mr. Witness?
Muslim.
In which language do you wish to make your testimony?
English.
Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation?
I'll make an affirmation.
Madam Chair, the witness wishes to make an affirmation. Use your right hand, raise it into the air, and then repeat after me.
All right.
I, Lamin F. Badjie,
Lamin F. Badjie,
do solemnly,
sincerely,
and truly declare that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. You may be kindly seated. Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to hand over the witness to you for us to proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Badjie.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, Honorable Commissioners. The Assistant Counsel will lead this witness.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good afternoon, Mr. Badjie.
Good afternoon.
Could you please tell the Commission your names?
Pardon?
Could you please tell the Commission your names?
My names are Lamin F. Badjie,
What is your address?
Kasakunda Village.
Since when did you join K.M.C?
2005.
Do you have your appointment letter with you?
Yes.
Were you confirmed?
Yes.
When were you confirmed?
2006.
Now, from 2006 to date, were you redeployed or promoted?
Yeah, I was promoted, then redeployed, all of them.
Do you have those letters with you as well?
Yes.
Please provide your letter of appointment, confirmation, promotion, and redeployment letters.
Okay.
All the documents are original, but except for one, the one that states staff redeployment to the community service. Do you have the original, or would you be able to have the original?
Maybe I can check with the HR, but I found it in my documents. I couldn't see that one.
Okay, that's fine. Then you can look for it. If you find it, you can kindly bring it. That way we can confirm it with the copy and then probably give you the original back.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we apply to tender the letter of application for the position of project supervisor written by the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, dated 11th day of April 2005, and another letter dated 1st of July 2005 addressed to Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, a response for an interview for a position of a project supervisor, signed by Richard Jase for the CEO. Another letter dated 11th day of July 2005 addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, subject offer of appointment, signed by Richard Jase for the acting CEO. Letter of confirmation of appointment dated 24th February 2006 addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, signed by Richard Jase for the acting director of admin. Letter of promotion addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin Badjie, dated 20th June 2007, signed by Dwao Jata for the CEO. A copy of staff redeployment letter to community service addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, for planning and development to the community service unit, dated 11 January 2008. A promotion letter to the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, dated 24th May 2016, signed by Omar C. for the CEO. Letter of promotion addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, dated 9th April 2018, signed by Wuraba for the CEO. Redeployment letter as head of GIZ team, dated 30th October 2020, addressed to the witness, Lamin F. Badjie, signed by Dembaja for CEO. The last one is another letter of redeployment as a Deputy Director of Service Operations addressed to the witness, Mr. Lamin Badjie, dated 23rd January 2003, signed by Demboja for the Deputy CEO, all into evidence as an exhibit.
The witness presented 10 documents and they are admitted as follows. A letter dated the 11th of April 2005 addressed to the Chief Executive Officer, Kanifing Municipal Council with the subject application for the position of project supervisor. The letter is signed by Lamin F. Badjie. A letter dated the 1st of July 2005 with reference KMC/ADM/055 addressed to Mr. Lamin F. Badjie with the subject interview dash position of a project supervisor. The letter is signed by Richard Jassy for Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, K.M.C, Finance Director, Director of Planning and Development. A letter dated the 11th of July 2005 with reference KMC/ADM/055 addressed to Lamin F. Badjie with the subject offer of appointment. It is signed by Richard Jassy for Acting Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, Acting Director of Finance, Director of Planning and Development, IT Unit. A letter dated the 24th of February 2006 with reference KMC/ADM/055 addressed to Lamin F. Badjie with subject confirmation of appointment. It is signed by Richard Jassy, Acting Director of Administration. It is copied to Acting Mayor, K.M.C, Director of Planning and Development. A letter dated the 28th of June 2007 with reference KMC/ADM/055 addressed to Mr. Lamin Badjie, Works Supervisor, Planning and Development with the caption Promotion. It is signed by Dua Ojata for Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to Acting Mayor, Director of Finance, Acting Director of Planning, Internal Auditor, IT Technician. A letter dated the 11th of January 2008 with reference KMC/ADM/055 and with the subject staff redeployment to the community services. It is signed by Dua Ojata. It is copied to the Interim Chairman, Director of Finance, Manager, C/S, Director, P&W, IT Manager, Internal Auditor, P&D. Sorry. A letter dated 24th of May 2016 with reference KMC/ADM/074 addressed to Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, Senior Community Service Field Officer, with the subject promotion, and the letter is signed by Omar C. for Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, Director of Finance, Director of Internal Audit, Director of Planning and Development, Director of Services, IT Manager, and Acting Executive Secretary. A letter dated 19th of April 2018 with reference KMC/ADM/055 addressed to Lamin Badjie, Valuation Manager, KMC, with the subject promotion. It is signed by Wuraba for Acting Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to the Chairman, KMC, Acting Director of Finance, Director of Audit, Director of Planning and Development, Director of Services, the Personal File, IT Manager, and Acting Executive Officer. A letter dated the 30th of October 2020 with reference KMC/HR/076 addressed to Lamin F. Badjie, Deputy Director of Services, with the subject redeployment as head of GIS team. It is signed by Demboja for Chief Executive Officer. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, KMC, Director of Finance, Director of Internal Audit, Director of Services, IT Manager, Establishment and Appointment Committee. A letter dated the 23rd of January 2023 with reference KMC/HR/0015 addressed to Lamin Badjie, Head of GIS Subject, redeployment as Deputy Director of Services, in brackets, operations. It is signed by Demboja for Deputy Chief Executive Officer, and it is copied to Lord Mayor, Director of Finance, Director of Internal Audit, Director of Services, IT Manager. These documents are admitted in a bundle as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/LFB/KMC/001.
As the Commission pleases. Mr. Badjie, could you kindly take us through your educational background?
I went to Kasakunda Primary. From there, I proceeded to Brikama Secondary School from 1990 to 94. From 94, I proceeded to Muslim up to 97. From there, I proceeded to GTTI, where I was there up till 2005. At GTTI, I did construction up to diploma and drafting. And from there, I was appointed at the K.M.C. 1995. Up till 2011, I have the opportunity to travel to Taiwan, where I did my BSc in architectural planning. And in 2025, I came back. Then 2016, I have the opportunity also to did valuation with the Ministry of Lands at the Department of Lands and Surveys for 6 months. And also in 2018, 2019, I did a training with the same ministry for 4 to 6 months, this time on GIS, on the UNOPS projects. And also in 2023, I went to Morocco to do my executive master's in construction management.
Thank you. Do you remember making a statement with the investigators of this commission?
Yes.
Now you'll be giving your statement. You can kindly go through it and confirm if that's the statement you made with the investigators. I understand you made 2 statements.
Yes.
Okay. Both statements will be given to you. You can kindly go through the contents of those statements.
Okay.
And confirm if those are the statements you made with the investigators.
Yeah, they are my
Was that
statements.
okay. And for the first statement, I understand there are some attachments,
Yes.
about 4 requests. Could you kindly detach those? Then when we get to those points, then you can probably tender them separately.
There's a mistake, it's 2005.
On
Madam
the
Chair, Madam Council, I want to make small changes
on which of the statements?
the first one, on the first paragraph.
Okay.
I joined council 2005 and not 2007.
Okay, you can scratch against the 7 and write 5. Madam Chair, the witness wished to make amendments on his statement. The second line of his statement stating 2007 stated it's 2005 instead of 2007.
Granted.
Madam Chair, we apply to tender the statement of the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, dated the 10th of July 2003, and the second statement dated the 19th day of September 2004. 2024 into evidence as an exhibit.
The witness statement dated the 10th of July 2023 made by the witness, Mr. Lamin F. Badjie, and the additional witness statement made on the 19th of September 2024 are both admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/LFB/KMC/002.
As the Commission pleases. Mr. Badjie, in 2018, what position were you on? What position did you hold on, in 2018?
Deputy Director of Service.
As Deputy Director of Service, what was your responsibility?
When I was redeployed, I was not given any TOR, but the director told me that I'm redeployed to assist him on the Department Affairs.
Do you have people working under you? As
Yes.
in the ones you've been supervising, how many of them?
I have, under my department, we have some units, that is the Community Service Unit and the Environment Sanitation Unit by then. And both those units have supervisors. On the Environment Sanitation, it was 7 supervisors, and Community Service supervisor, they have a manager. But the Environment and Sanitation also have a manager who is directly under me.
So how many managers do you have directly under you?
I have 3 by then, because we have service also, we have a manager.
Now, do you eventually have a TOR to know your responsibilities, aside from supervising these managers?
I was not given a written TOR from council, but I was responsible for the staffs under the department and also supervising most of the department works.
So in your work as a supervisor, what exactly would you do with these managers, or what would they normally give you? How do they report to you? That's what I need to understand. I understand you don't have a written TOR, but what exactly have you been doing as Deputy Director of Service?
I do inform them that they should submit a weekly report and also a monthly report, which I also compile together to forward it to the director for our annual reports.
Great. So all these 3 managers have been submitting weekly and monthly reports to you.
Yes, but sometimes they do skip some weeks.
Pardon me?
I said yes, but sometimes some weeks they do speak. There is no report.
There's no report.
Yeah, for some
and
weeks.
You have records of these reports, monthly reports and weekly reports from all these 3 managers.
Yes.
So you can, you'll be provided with a pen and a paper. You can note it down. We'll need these these monthly and weekly reports from these 3 managers: Community Service Manager, Environment and Services.
Okay.
Mr. Badjie, aside from the reports, what exactly would you do with them as well?
I also supervise the works at the backwater dump site.
Okay, so have you been having reports from these supervisions you've been doing from the back of the dump site?
Yes.
How were you going about it?
At the dump site also, there are supervisors who normally report to me weekly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do they report to you? What exactly would they report to you? Were they also doing weekly reports or monthly reports?
They are giving me weekly reports.
And that's all?
Yeah, but for me also, I do visit the dump site time to time.
And you collect revenues from them as well?
In 2018, there was no revenue at the dump site.
No, up to the time. You added that you also visit the dump site.
Yes.
Oh, that is not of recent, it's from 2018.
Yeah, that was on 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
So up to date, you do visit the dump site or till what time?
No, up till 2020, before I was redeployed back to planning, I do go to the dump site.
Okay, 2020 they were selling tickets.
Yes.
And they've made mention of your name that you're one of the people that will collect revenue from them.
Yes, that's true.
So when you collect these revenues from them, what would you do with it?
I took it to the council and submitted there.
And you have records of your submission or what you receive from them and also how you do your submissions?
Well, I collect the tickets from the accountant at the council, then give it to them. Then in the evening, I will go and collect the money, and the following day, I will bank it at the council.
So what work manual will you use? So how do we know how much ticket books you receive from council finance department and how much do you give each of the ticket sellers and what will you return? So there has to be some transparency, there has to be something, some sort of records. And once you're dealing with cash, you should have a cash book.
I don't have any cash book, to be
You were
honest
not
with you.
operating like
I don't
that.
have a cash book, but at the accounts level, they have a cash book where they record all the tickets that were given to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I go back with the duplicates of the tickets and all the receipt that were provided to me. Also, the duplicates of the ticket is the ticket that is normally sold is written on the ticket my receipt book.
That's how you run the account.
Yeah, because that by then we were on a pilot. It was for only 3 months. After which, from the pilot, I wrote my report that it's time for us to get a ticket seller. So that's the time they get a ticket seller, and I was out of the pilot.
So whilst piloting, you were writing report or you just wrote a report once?
No, during that period, I don't think I have any report.
But you just mentioned that you wrote a report.
Maybe that's a mistake, because during the pilot, I cannot remember giving any report
No,
to
you
the
said
director.
at the end of the pilot, you wrote a report to
It
recommend
was
that-
verbal. I reported to the director that I think it's high time for us to get a ticket seller, because we've made our pilot and we found that things are working fine, so we should get a ticket seller.
So who did you report to verbally?
My director.
That's your reporting mechanism with you and the director, or that's just for
No,
the dump
just
site?
for the pilot, because for us, we have all records at the services department.
All right. So as a deputy, how do you report to your director?
Sometimes I wrote to him, sometimes we will just talk in the phone.
So how would we know? Now you can sit here and say, I report to him verbally. He can come here and say you did not report. So why would you think it was okay to be reporting verbally?
No, that is not correct to report verbally, but that's the honest thing I did.
That's the honesty.
Yeah.
Okay, now the other reports that you've been writing, you can note it down
Okay,
from 2018.
okay,
You can provide those reports
it's noted. It's
as
already.
head of, no? That's different from the weekly and the monthly you've been receiving from the managers.
Okay. Okay. This one is because for the director, I gave him the yearly report.
I beg your pardon, for the director you do what?
if I collect these monthly and weekly reports, I will compile everything and produce sometimes quarterly report with a weekly yearly report for the director.
Okay.
Yes.
So since you have this weekly and monthly, you should provide. Now, you should provide your own yearly report that you've been
Okay.
submitting.
Okay.
If I may ask, a report on what? Is it just only the works of the managers?
Like,
The report, the yearly report that you've been preparing and giving it to your director? Does it only include the weekly and the monthly report of the managers you've been supervising?
it's not, because I also deal with the disciplinary of the laborers that we have. If we have any complaints from them, we do write to the CEO for action to be taken.
The committee?
To the
It's a committee?
CEO, I do a recommendation to the CEO. The CEO will do the necessary actions.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but for
those-
us, we send our memos to the CEO.
The minutes of the committee meetings?
I'm not saying that. Maybe you are not getting me.
Yes, please, could you speak?
I'm saying at the Environment Sanitation Unit, we have daily paid laborers, which if there is a report that those laborers have done something, I will write a warning letter and submit it to the CEO for action to be taken.
Okay.
Yes.
So for environment and sanity, you said you have 7 supervisors.
Yes, which I can remember.
Okay. Do you know the number of staffs that you have there?
At the Environment Sanitation,
Uh-huh.
I cannot remember the actual figure, but it's up to 200 plus.
And they're all under.
Environment and Sanitation.
So aside from reporting or writing warning letters and sending it to the CEO, what other work do you do with the environment and sanity?
I do supervise also their daily work, whether the streets are clean, the markets, etc.
And do you prepare a report for such?
Yes,
You can note it down. So you do these reports every day? You said daily. So how often do you write these reports?
I'm not saying daily. What I said the supervisors and the managers will give me a weekly report
Of this?
of all the activities done. Then that weekly report, I will compile a quarterly report and a yearly report for the director.
Okay. So
Yes.
aside from doing that, and aside from writing recommendations for punishment, what else do you do?
This is what I'm saying. I also supervise the backwater dump site, the activities going at the backwater dump site.
Okay.
Yes.
Aside from giving tickets and taking revenue from the collectors, from the ticket sellers, what else do you do at the backwater dump site? So now this is 2 separate things. The one for these 3 communities and dump site. So now let's move to dump site.
Yes.
Aside from giving them ticket books and them submitting monies to you, what else do you do at the dump site?
I also write requests and forward it to the CEO for fuel to be produced so that the bulldozers at the dump site can be able to operate.
Okay, now going by your statement, you just made mention of these bulldozers. Where are these bulldozers from?
I think what I had, they are from Kanilai.
Yes, that's what you stated in your
Yes,
statement.
they are from Kanilai.
Do you have any idea how council got them from Kanilai to the dump site?
No.
So what sort of requests have you been making? Because I've seen a couple of requests attached to your statement
It's fuel.
for the fuel.
It's for the fuel for their operations.
So to who and who have you been making, on who and whose behalf have you been making these 4 requests?
I made the request, then the director will endorse it and send to the records for the CEO's approval. From approval, it will send to procurement for normal procedures to be taken.
Have these normal procedures been taken?
Yes.
And for the dump site, who's responsible for the fuel that you've been making requests for?
By then, it was Mr. Kanjura. Kanye.
What sort of requests have you been making for Mr. Kanjura Kanyi?
No, I don't make any request for Kanjura. I made requests for the supply of fuel for those two bulldozers that are operating at the backwater dump site. But by then, Kanjura was assigned at the dump site as a dump site manager, so he was responsible for collecting the fuel at the stores.
As a dump site manager?
Yes.
Now, do you have records of the fuel requests you've been making for the backwater dump site?
Yes, I have the requests.
You have all the requests?
Yes.
Do you have any with you, or have you been making records of everything?
Now, the fuel is normally requested every 2 weeks, not daily. It's every 2 weeks. When there is no fuel, then you will be alert. I will be alert so that I make another request.
Okay, so you can provide us with the records of fuel requests that you've been making for backwater dump site.
Okay.
Now for bulldozer D8 and D9, you've made you stated in your statement that these bulldozers take 75 liters of fuel maximum. Sorry, minimum 75 liters, maximum 125 liters.
Yes.
How do you know?
We were advised by the mechanic,
Which mechanic?
our council mechanic,
What is his name?
Buba Kujawe.
Okay. Aside from the,
Sorry, Council, I have Mr. Badjie,
Yes.
you said according to exhibit LGC/LFB/KMC/001, your redeployment as head of GIS team,
Yes.
this was effective 2nd of November 2020, correct?
Yes.
Now, before 2nd of November 2020, where were you?
At the service department,
As what?
deputy director.
Deputy Director of Services.
Yes.
Now, the procurement of these bulldozers from Kanilai, did it find you on the ground?
I was with council,
Under which department?
the service department.
So it would be correct to say that you were aware of how the bulldozers came from Kanilai to K.M.C.
No, I'm not aware how they came, but because I know that I was told that they went for the two bulldozers, because by then we were renting. So they told us that Kanjura supposed to go and bring two bulldozers from Kanilai, but how they came, I cannot explain anything. No.
What, who was your head of department as at that time?
The director of service
Yes.
is Sanyang, Lamin Sanyang.
Lamin?
Sanyang,
Is he still working with the KMC?
yes.
Lamin Sanyang?
Lamin S. Sanyang,
Lamin S. Sanyang.
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
thank you. Now we move to as head of GIS,
Yes.
Geographical Information System.
Yes.
So as head of GIS, what was your role?
As head of GIS, we wanted to correct data for the council because council realized that there is no data for rates, license, and markets. So this is why the unit was created.
When was this?
This is 2020, after we completed our training with UNOPS.
And the data, they ended up creating the data?
We've started, but still is on progress. It's not completed.
Now, could you at least give us, you said you've started, but it's not
Yes,
completed. So
yes.
now at least give us what exactly you've started, what you've worked on, and what is to be expected.
Under that part, first we've just make a concept note on how to work. Then we've got our work program for the year 2021, because by then 2020 was already gone. So after getting that, we were able to get the drone image of council, from where we trace all the properties in council, and also we get we've got we have already got the footprints of the buildings within the council. So as of now, we are linking the close code that was done through the Ministry of Information in collaboration with the council to link these close codes with the properties. And also, for now, we have a project with Access University in London to conduct this survey so that we will get a correct data for all the properties that are registered in council, because we learned that according to rates, some of the properties are duplicated. So as of now, this is where we are. But the project will kickstart in January 2025, the data collection proper. So as of now, we are in the preparation stage.
Sorry, Mr. Badjie, you said 2020 what?
2025, the data collection will be started. Now we are on the preparation.
2005 or 2025?
Sorry, 2025.
2025.
Huh?
2025.
It's still ongoing, but
It's
it will
ongoing.
start in 2025.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
So when did the data collection start?
it will start 2025.
Okay, the data collection will start.
Yeah, now we are on the preparation.
But then, was there any project implemented before then? Is there any ongoing project?
That was the problem, because when we made our budget, is at the approval stage, GIS, there is no budget, so we couldn't do all the plans that we have for the year.
No, what I mean is,
Yes.
was there a distinct project that was involved in the identification and the indexing of the properties in?
Yes, that was through Ministry of Information. That's the PLOS code.
That's the BROS code?
Yeah, the PLOS
Project.
codes. Yeah,
Okay.
the PLOS code. We were collaborating with the Ministry of Information.
So those are the ones that provided the
PLOS codes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it an exhaustive, how to call it, exercise?
No, it was a project.
Yes.
Yeah, for almost 1 year, some months.
When did the project start?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it ended when?
part of 2022. Yeah, it's 1 year, some months.
So what was the target of the project?
For the Ministry of Information, they wanted to tag all the compounds with PLOS codes
Okay.
for easy
Identification.
identification. Yeah.
Yes.
So we use that opportunity to link with our rates unit, so that we also will know which compound is in the system and which compound is not in the system.
So now was the project in a position to obtain its objective in identifying all the properties in the
Well,
K.M.C?
I can say yes, because as of now, we have already linked almost 15,000 properties, but it's ongoing, it's not yet completed.
It's ongoing.
Yeah.
And you are still working with the Department of Information?
Ministry of Information.
Yes.
No, for them, after the project, it's council now which is working. That is the GIS unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've just told the Commission that the GIS unit is not funded properly to conduct the activity.
Yeah, that was 2020.
So, but now it's fully funded.
Now we have a project with Access
Okay.
that is sponsoring these activities that we are doing.
Okay. And who is the head of the project?
I am the vocal person of the project,
Okay.
but the consultant is from Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Can you provide us with the documentation of the project so we
Okay.
see what is happening
Okay.
with the project?
Okay.
So please note that. Is it also your responsibility to archive the data and to catalog, to do the cataloging in the system?
Yes.
It's part of your responsibility.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that entails?
No, for now, we haven't got any data. This is why we wanted to get a correct data, because when we started the GIS, there was no data. The only data that was available then was the rates.
Is the data just limited to properties, or the data is general?
Our target is not for only rates.
Yeah.
After completing rates, we wanted to go to license so that we know how many businesses are existing in KM, and from there we will proceed to market also.
Okay, so
Yeah.
part of your responsibility is to make sure that you have the
Correct
global
data.
the global data
For the council.
for the council.
Yes.
And you just started for the properties. You've not yet gone to license and to the market.
Markets, yeah.
Council, you may proceed. Sorry, he has a question.
Mr. Sanyang,
Mr. Badjie,
sorry, I'm sorry. Mr. Badjie, I'm sorry.
thank you.
This GIS map you are trying to produce, what is going to be the difference between the GIS map and the cadastral maps that are already in existence? What's the difference?
There is no difference because we are working in collaboration with fiscal planning and Department of Lands.
Okay.
Yeah.
My point is, I'm a bit surprised when you said that there was no data. There is enough data, and there is data for all the properties in K.M.C, how many buildings are there, what are the measurements of the plots, and everything. It's available locally. And within this data I am telling you, you can identify where all the businesses are.
For us as a council, we wrote to the ministry for this data, but we couldn't get.
Let me give an example. For example, at BCC, within the flip of a button, you can know how many electrical poles are there. The data is there. The data is should be at K.M.C. It's at the physical planning. And all this information is there. It is to scale. There is some 1:2500, there is 1:1250, there is 1:500. All this is available. I'm not sure why you're not seeing it.
I'm not denying, but for us, we haven't found any data.
Did you attempt to look for the data from physical planning? And
yes.
I know they have it. They even have the aerial photographs where you can download and get the information.
We went to fiscal planning, that's what I'm saying. From fiscal planning, we got some of the information and we trace it so that we can get an update.
Good.
Yes. So that is what we are working.
It could have taken a shorter time. If you were in for it, within 4 months, you can have all the data in K.M.C. And it should go, that's going to be your property. Rather than waiting for the GIS system, you put a project, who works in it, there are capacity gaps, there is funding gaps, data is available.
The data is not available, Council. If the data was there, we should have not gone.
I'm not council.
Mr. Badjie, he is
Yes.
not council, he is commissioner.
Commissioner, sorry,
Now.
sorry.
Thank you.
So the physical planning and the Department of Lands and Service are saying that the data is no more available.
I'm not saying they said there is no more available. The data we have from them, this is what we were working, so that, because for them, they have old maps, which some of these new properties are not captured. So this is why I said, from what we have from them, we also want to update it so that we can get all the properties within KM.
I agree. That was the simplest explanation you have made.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Badjie, you stated in your statement that with the help from the security forces, you cleaned the community gutters. How were you doing that?
That one we normally write to the security forces for assistance. So when we wrote to them, they will respond positively.
Considering you have environment and sanity community, and you made mention of the number of people that are there and that you have 7 supervisors, you still need a helping hand from the security forces.
Yes.
And then you will later make requests for funds from council.
Yes.
To pay the security and?
No, we don't pay the security people.
Who do you pay?
We normally buy logistics for them. That is, we buy fuel and we also give them breakfast and water, but we don't pay them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you been keeping records of these activities?
Yes.
You can write it down. And you said you've been retiring funds of what you've been requesting to take care of the welfare of the security forces?
Pardon?
You've been retiring funds that you've been requesting.
Yes.
We need the records of the retirement of funds that you've been.
Okay.
You understand? Now, we will now go back to the dump side. Aside from the ticket sellers, from who and who have you been receiving revenue from?
Only the ticket sellers.
No, but we have Mr. Jonga, Omar Jonga.
Yes.
And we also have K.M.C. Fati, who made it clear that they've been giving funds to you.
K.M.C. never give me money.
Okay.
Neither Jonga. I do give money to Jonga, but they don't give me money.
So how do we clear that out? Because you clearly don't have records of these funds that you've been receiving from ticket sellers.
I have my receipts that I deposited to Jonga. I have all with me.
Okay.
Yes.
So how about K.M.C.?
K.M.C. never give me any money, and I never took money from K.M.C.
But K.M.C. has been collecting revenue from, in fact, he reports to you.
K.M.C.
Well,
don't report to me.
aside from the supervisors at the dump site, he made it clear that he has been giving monies to you and the supervisors has been giving monies to you.
Can he provide evidence for that? Because K.M.C. reports to the project manager, that is Mr. Singate. K.M.C. never report to
He
me.
made mention of you, Mr. Singate, and one other.
I couldn't remember any day K.M.C. gave me money.
And it's clear to you that they do not have cash book or any form of records keeping as to these cash that they've been collecting and giving it to you.
As I said, K.M.C. never give me any money, but all the monies that have been collected at the dump site are deposited and I have the receipts with me.
Okay, you can provide the receipts because we will find it very difficult that you have not been keeping records from whatever you're receiving from these ticket sellers. So it's how much you've been receiving versus how much you've been submitting.
All those records are with Jonga. As I said before, Jonga normally writes everything that he gives me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you only have the receipts.
I have the receipts with the tickets on it and the amount deposited.
Can we please take a look at the receipts that you're having?